Namaskar. I am Wing Commander Dr. Rakesh Kumar Prashar. Last week, my dear friend Ranadev Chandra shared a wonderful post with me on leadership that used the word leadership as an acronym. Listening, empathy, adaptability, dedication, ethics, respect, support, humility, inclusion, and patience. He also requested me to make an insightful video focusing on safety leadership using the same approach as he had seen me passionately advocating for it across platforms, my training sessions, my YouTube channel, as well as my second book, Safety Leadership, Shaping Business Excellence. So Ranadev, and to all safety champions out there, here's my humble effort. Friends, in today's dynamic and fast-paced workplaces, leadership is no longer defined by titles or positions, but by purpose that inspires, influence that uplifts, and impact that transforms behavior. I deeply believe that safety and productivity go hand in hand because when people are protected, they are more productive. Yes, safety enhances productivity. That's why I wrote in my book, safety is not only about protection, but also about production, because when safety thrives, performance naturally follows. Whether you are a CEO, a manager, a supervisor, or even a frontline worker, know this. Each one of you have the power to lead. If you genuinely care for the well-being of your team, you have already stepped onto the path of being a safety leader. True safety leaders don't command compliance, they inspire commitment. They don't just enforce rules, they create a culture where safety is valued deeply, embraced willingly, and lived daily. They lead with trust, act with conviction, drive accountability, and nurture workplaces where safety is not seen as an obligation but upheld as a shared responsibility and a core value. So let's explore a fresh practical approach to leadership through the word leadership itself, where each of the 10 letters stands for a core quality that every safety leader must live by. The first letter is L, which stands for listening. Listening is the foundation of effective leadership. Not just passive hearing, but active listening. Safety leaders listen to understand, not just to respond. They catch silent signals before they become incidents, namely stress, hesitation, and even unspoken fears. When workers feel heard, they feel valued, and they not only feel safe to speak up about hazards, risks, and concerns, but they're also willing to offer ideas and suggestions. Listening creates trust, and trust is the foundation of safety leadership. The second letter E stands for empathy. Empathy is often misunderstood as a soft skill, but in reality, it is a leadership superpower. It's the emotional glue that not only connects people and comforts them, but also one that turns a team into a family. In safety, empathy is what transforms enforcement into engagement. It shows your team that you care, not just command. Empathy says, your life matters to me, and that changes everything. The third letter A stands for accountability. True leaders don't play the blame game, they take responsibility, not just for results, but for the process, the failures, and even the outcomes. They walk the talk even when no one is watching. Accountability makes safety a personal mission, not a delegated task. And when safety leaders take responsibility, their teams do so too. The fourth letter D stands for decisiveness. In critical moments, indecision can be dangerous. Decisive leaders bring clarity to chaos. They act swiftly, confidently, and with courage, whether it's halting an unsafe operation or implementing a new safety protocol. Bold and timely decisions can not only stop an accident before it happens, but also save lives and protect business continuity. Decisiveness is not about being fast, it's about being firm, fair, and focused. The fifth letter E stands for empowerment. Leadership is not about control, it's about confidence. And safety isn't built by one leader, it's built by many empowered people. Good leaders don't micromanage, they mentor, they delegate, and they trust. They don't just direct, they develop. They create an environment where people don't wait, they act. Great leaders don't just create followers, they actually create problem solvers and even more leaders. The sixth letter R stands for resilience. Adversity is inevitable, and that is a real test of leadership. Plans may fail and accidents may happen, but resilient leaders don't break under pressure. They bounce back, they learn, they adapt, and they lead recovery. It's the ability to rise stronger, safer, and wiser every time. Safety leaders don't spread fear, they spark hope. Resilience in a leader today becomes resilience in a team tomorrow. The seventh letter S stands for strategy. Good leaders react, great leaders anticipate. Strategic leaders align safety with a business vision, forecasting risks and planning proactively to support long-term business excellence. They don't just chase compliance, they cultivate commitment. When safety becomes a part of the strategy, it becomes part of the culture. And when safety becomes a value, organizations thrive. The eighth letter H stands for honesty. In safety, honesty and integrity are non-negotiable, as one hidden truth can cost a life. Honest leaders speak the truth even when it's uncomfortable. They promote psychological safety where truth is not punished but prized. Remember, transparency builds trust and trust builds teams. The ninth letter I stands for inspiration. Leadership is not about forcing change, it's about influencing change. Inspiration is contagious. Great leaders inspire not by their words but by their consistent actions. By small acts like wearing PPE, following protocols, addressing unsafe situations immediately, admitting mistakes, and treating others with dignity, they lead by example and inspire big changes. They don't just talk the talk, they walk the talk, and others naturally follow. And the 10th and the last letter P stands for proactivity. Waiting for a problem to escalate is not leadership, it's negligence. Safety leaders don't wait for problems, they anticipate risks, plan ahead, act early, and embed prevention in every process. Proactivity isn't a protocol, it's a mindset. After all, prevention is always better than repentance. So friends, there you have it. Leadership, not as a word, but as a way of life. Listening, empathy, accountability, decisiveness, empowerment, resilience, strategy, honesty, inspiration, and proactivity. These are not just optional traits, they are the essence of safety leadership. They are the building blocks of strong, safe, engaged, high-performing, and human-centered workplaces. Remember, safety leadership is not a badge, it's an attitude. It's not a title, it's a responsibility. It's about how you show up every day, how you treat people, and how much you value life. It's a journey of continuous learning, reflection, and service. So ask yourself today, are you merely managing people, or are you leading them towards safety, growth, and excellence? Friends, let's build a culture where safety is not imposed but embraced with pride and purpose. Remember, real leaders don't just manage, they lead, they protect, and they inspire. Because in the end, the difference lies not in position, but in leadership. Namaskar. Jai Hind.